Also, on this episode, you guys are going to see that I have the world's worst posture.
Yes.
Hi, Fancy.
Come here, Mary. She goes, she doesn't usually get to come in here.
Hi. Oh, you're getting spoiled today.
She is getting spoiled today.
I'm here with Alicia at Alicia's Zindan.
Yep.
In her home studio, and it's freaking beautiful, and her home is beautiful. And she's a real estate agent, and she is secretary, the Indian Valley Chamber of Commerce. We're both members.
Yes, we are.
And that's where I met her, and we kind of bonded over corporate America. Oh. And I'm so excited to hear more about her story, and I'm just going to let her take it from the top.
Okay, how did I get here? So I landed in Indian Valley about 21 years ago. I was a stay-at-home mom. I had 2 boys who are now in the military serving abroad. So that's my why. That's why I keep going, so I can keep going to see them. So something has to pay the bills. So I stayed at home with them, and I found myself unhappy in my situation and wanted to change. So I started looking for a job so I could become more self-sufficient and branch out on my own in life with my kids. And I landed in Susanville at a job in corporate America, believe it or not. I started as an admin assistant and kind of hustled my way up there in the man's world. I quickly learned that it was not for the faint of heart. You had to be tough, and I was in over my head a little bit. I didn't know really anything, but I'm not afraid of anything either. So I quickly took to Google and learned a lot about spreadsheets and budgets and Microsoft Online, and basically anything you want to learn, you can learn on Google. So I got a Google degree and climbed my way to the top. Ended up in a management position in logistics and planning, and where I oversaw, at the peak of the season, about 1,500 employees.
1,500?
1,500, keeping the thing, everybody moving, 3 shifts a day. Processing lots of little strawberries. So if you've ever eaten a Driscoll strawberry, chances are I probably had something to do with it at one point. Anyway, for about 10 years. So fast forward, I was not happy. I had all the things. I was making 6 figures. I had a 401k. I had insurance. Like, I was successful, right? But I had a house. But I was missing something. And when my kids left, it kind of freed up space to deep dive that a little bit more, because I didn't have the pressure of having them in my house. And so I started really pushing back at work and rocking the boat a little bit, trying to change policy, trying to change the top, because I learned that it was like culture at the top that was making me crazy, you know? Mm-hmm. I don't know, there was a lot that was making me crazy, and it was basically myself after I unpacked it all. I thought it was my job, so I started there, and it definitely wasn't the job. So I kept unpacking that, and I wasn't happy. And so finally one day I told my boss, I go, I'm not happy. And he said, okay, let's do something about it. So we tried to do something about it. That didn't work. Fast forward, I decided to put in my notice. I told him I was getting my real estate license, and regardless, I was going to do that because I want to finish. Successful people finish what they start, is what I told him. And I had purchased my real estate exam because I was thinking I was going to do a side hustle and I'd buy some property and whatever. I didn't know where it was going to go. I just knew that I needed more money to be happy, right? Mm-hmm. That's not true either, but I found that out. So I got my real estate license, and things were going really well, really fast. I partnered with another local agent, and she taught me a lot, took me under her wing. It was great. We were moving fast. I was hustling, doing 2 jobs. I decided to put in my notice and quit that altogether. That was just after COVID. And then real estate. I don't know. I just started real estate. I quit my job. I was flying high. I was super successful in real estate. I had all these transactions. The first year I went into business myself, I don't like to throw around numbers, but I will, just for perspective, because I didn't even believe it was possible. I made almost $300,000. Right?
That's huge.
Mind blown. I spent it all. Don't worry. I don't have it. I'm not smart with money either. I'm still learning. I paid off a lot of debt. Like, I had a lot of things that had followed me from my past. But like, holy cow.
Yeah, your first year.
My first year.
Oh my
First year in real
gosh,
estate,
girl.
right? Like, of course I had 6 months of income from my old life. I got a severance when I left there as well, because I left on good terms. Everything was really good. So it was a great income year, but like I still was missing something. And I was unhealthy. Okay, I got to take it back because I left corporate America.
I'm loving this, by the way.
Sorry, I go all over the place.
am like loving all of this.
So I started to get sick in because this is a big portion of it, 2018, 2017 maybe, I was diagnosed with scleroderma.
What's that?
Which is an autoimmune disease.
Oh.
And there's no cure for it. It's a connective tissue disorder. So like, that's all the further I can bend my finger, right? Wild. And there's like 5 different markers. One is Raynaud's. That's why I'm always really cold. And so my fingers will be purple. Another one is calcinosis. I was getting rocks. Like I had literal rocks coming out of my thumb. Like I Googled, that's how I figured out. I self-diagnosed. Yeah. I said rocks coming out of fingers because a rock came out of my finger and I'm like, I'm not crazy. A rock just came out of my finger. And so I found it, and Crest syndrome was one of the things that it said it could be. And I have Raynaud's, and I knew I had Raynaud's, and that's one of the markers. So then calcinosis, which is the rocks coming out of your body. What are the other ones? The telangiectasia, so I have little red marks, like exploding blood vessels on my face and stuff like that. My top lip could disappear from the tightening skin. And then lungs, they have to keep track of my organs to make sure they're not turning to calcium, because you don't know, because everything like calcifies. And then like the motility on my gut and stuff like that. So I've had some issues. At my peak, I was probably 200 pounds almost. I was puffy, inflamed. I drank more than I wanted to. I was on 14 medications, antidepressants, sleep aids, thyroid meds. My thyroid was a mess. My hormones were a mess. And then I was on a bunch of medication to combat the symptoms that I was having, like the calcinosis and all that. And like, was any of it working? I don't know. And so I was scared. I didn't want to die. And the prognosis isn't good. Don't read about it. You'll be like, oh no, she's dying. I'm not. I'm in better health than I've ever been.
You look great.
Thanks. It's been a journey, but in stress, you have to manage stress. So it's diet, it's stress, it's self-care, and none of which I was doing. I was commuting 3 hours a day to work, and then road work, man, girl.
Oh, every year. Susanville Caltrans, can you guys please figure it out?
Oh, so road work was trying to kill me. It was sucking the life out of me. My job was too much. I had no boundaries anywhere in my life, none at all, none, zero. With people, places, things, friends, men, bad at that too. Real bad at that. That's okay though. We just paused on it, so we're pausing. It's good to pause. So anyway, fast forward, I knew I needed to make a serious change. And so my job was part of it. And like all those stories were going on, but I didn't know that they were all a story until after I got out of it. So that's why I needed to back up, because the story really is how I was telling it, but it really is as I'm telling it now. I got sick and I was scared and I didn't know what to do. And all I knew to do was to stop doing what I was doing. And so I literally like quit my life. I walked away from a lot of toxic, unhealthy relationships in my personal life, in my professional life, in my family, and I really dove down like into me. And I didn't get many answers, but I was unpacking things and finding peace. I walked a lot in the woods, and I was doing real estate. I was spending time with my kids, but I was still hustling. And I was still searching for a feeling that I wasn't finding in my job or my profession or whatever. And I didn't want to burn out in real estate because I really liked it. And I didn't want to start 50 things, just because I couldn't figure my life out. Because I also have that story that I tell in my brain where, like, you have to do one thing, right? That's what we're taught when we grow up. Like, you go to college, you get a degree, you do all the things. And I didn't go to college, so I felt like I already had that chip on my shoulder. And then I didn't have a husband anymore. I was a single mom, so I had that chip on my shoulder. So I had to have the family that everybody says you have to have, right? Like I have to have a 401k, I have to have all those things. But I had all those things, and it still didn't make sense for my life. So that's really what I'd say, I've had my real estate license for 3.5 years now. But I'd say the last 5 years, I've really been diving deep into what makes sense for me, health-wise, work-wise, finding the balance, swinging back and forth both ways, all those things. I don't know. That's kind of like the long and short of it. So here I am. Yoga, I didn't even touch on yoga. Yoga was part of the health journey. I had breast implants for a long time, for 15 years, because I was insecure when I was younger, and I thought, boobs. they'll make everything better. They don't. Plot twist, they don't. They made me feel like women saw me a way and men saw me a way, and neither of the ways are who I am. Like, they're just boobs. And in my mind, like, they're just boobs, but they're not. They were so much more than just boobs for me. But then I was also afraid maybe they were making me sick, because my autoimmune condition, logic told me that if there's something foreign in my body, then my body's fighting itself, and it would only make sense to get it out of there to make it better. So I went to 3 different doctors to try to get them out. The first 2 I left crying because they totally patronized me.
Because you wanted to get them out?
Because I wanted to get them out. He's like, oh, are you sure? He's like, you're really lean. I don't know that you're going to be happy with your body. One guy actually said, he touched my knee, and he goes, oh, you think you're going to feel better if you take them out? And
doctor?
A doctor, the one that put them in.
Oh, my God.
And I go, yeah, because I really believed in my heart that I would feel better. And I wanted to take them out.
And that should be enough.
Right. And so he goes, well, we'll get you a quote to put new ones in, which was cheaper, mind you, to get new ones than it was to get them out and get them lifted. He's like, well, we could just take them out and we can let them hang around, and we don't really know what they're going to look like. And I was like, oh, right. I have not always loved my body, and I have not always looked like this. And so it took a lot to get to there. Like, it was a soul journey to love my body and the skin I was in. I was heavy my whole life. I always felt fat, and it loomed over me my whole life. And so I was scared to get rid of the boobs, because I'm like, what if I have body dysmorphia, all the things. So I walk away from the first doctor. I'm like crying in the truck. I'm like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't do this. But then I'm like, no, I really want to do this. So I make another appointment with another doctor, and I go see him, and he tells me the same thing. He's like, well, I just don't think you're going to feel better getting them out. And so he gives me the same options. He writes me a quote for 3 different things: complete explant, leave them floppy, an explant and a lift, and an explant with new implants. The cheapest thing to get is an explant with new implants. If they keep you coming back, they keep you coming back. If they take them out, you're never coming back, right? So they want to keep you coming back.
Oh, how sick.
Right?
How sick.
And it's just the same with doctors, too. Like,
oh, yeah.
I'm going to go on a whole doctor tangent if you get me started on modern medicine.
Please do.
But that's what I found, too, when I started diving into wellness. So I got the boobs out. And I went to the 3rd doctor. The 3rd doctor's like, it may work, it may not. It's your choice. You have a beautiful body. We can.
That's a refreshing thing to hear.
I felt so much better. Dr. Thomas, shout out Dr. Thomas down in
We'll link
Chico.
him in the description.
He was a great doctor. He was a good advocate both ways. He was informative the whole way. So I make the appointment for my boobs, and then I'm like panicking in my head, laying in bed, like, okay, now I'm not going to have any boobs. Maybe I should go get my yoga teacher training. I'd been really into yoga. I was really liking it. I'd been doing it for about a year every day on my own through Peloton yoga in my living room. I bought the bike. The bike was not for me. I sold the bike, kept the yoga. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go get my yoga teaching certificate. It'll be 3 weeks in Spain. Like,
in Spain?
Yeah, I went to the Canary Islands,
Oh
Tenerife.
my
It was incredible.
gosh.
It was the most incredible experience. So I booked a 22-day trip to Tenerife, Spain, like 4 months after my surgery, and I was like, I'll go heal my body and my mind. If nothing else, I can get my strength back, because I was happy with where I was physically before the surgery, and I was afraid that I would go backwards taking the time off with the surgery and everything. Wasn't true. All the things that aren't true. All the things that we tell ourselves that aren't true. I'm here to debunk all those things. So fast forward, got the boobs out, went to the yoga teacher training, and it was like the most incredible experience. You detox from technology, you detox from food. I ate vegan while I was there, which was incredible. I'd never done that before. So it was good. I'm not going to lie. Like, fat girl. I love sweets. I just love them. So I want to say, like, the first time off the island, we were immersed, and it's a lot of yoga, like, way more than you thought. It was not a chill, it's not a chill yoga thing. It was an intense experience. I had to dig deep to make it. Yeah. I was like praying for the dog to stop barking so that I could do my yoga homework, so that I could go to bed and get up and do it the next day. Yeah. But it was good. You just figure out who you, like, what really matters and like what you're made of, honestly. Like I was stronger, I just got to such an organic state, like mentally, physically, that I don't know, dug in and unveiled some things inside of me, like my why, and I wanted to share that with people. And so I didn't go with the intention of teaching when I got it, but then I got there and I was like, well, that seems really selfish not to share this with people, right? Like yoga has changed my life so much. Just, it used to be like a physical thing that I did and exercise that I enjoyed, but now it's like so much more than that. Just the things that I've unpacked on the mat are incredible. And then learning to trust and believe and all of those things. And then applying it to my other chaotic life, which is real estate, because there's an odd balance there between real estate and yoga. Real estate's like, and that's me in my regular life. And that's who I've been my whole life. And then yoga is like the me that I'm finding. And I'm like, maybe I was this me all along. And I was just taught all those other things to survive. So anyway, that's kind of it.
Yeah, I think that's also beautiful.
Yeah.
So you left your job, your corporate job, and what year was that?
2021.
2021. And then you were a real estate agent for how long until you went to
To yoga?
to Spain?
I want to say about a year on my real estate journey before I went to Spain.
Do you think that real estate also helped you like find yourself or?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, what's that journey like for any of the girls that want to do real estate? Tell us how that process was, like the schooling and everything you had to do. And
So the schooling's pretty easy. I mean, you take the course, you have like 6 months from when you sign up to when you have to be done, I think. I don't know. It's all online. You learn all the paperwork and the forms, and I would say you don't really learn anything if you want to know the truth. I mean, I learned a lot, but like none of it mattered because I didn't really know what it applied to.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you learn it all once you get on the streets out here, and the streets are rough. The streets are scary. It's kind of hood.
it's ghetto out there.
It is ghetto out there, and it's like going out in the dark in the ghetto at first. And you kind of get kicked a few times and like attacked in the alley, and you're not really sure what you're doing, but you're like, I'm not scared of alleys.
Yeah.
So you have to have a big personality, and you have to believe that you can do it. Would be two of the traits that I think are the most important for real estate. You have to be able to juggle a lot of things. So logistics and my corporate life really helped with that because I can multitask like I shouldn't be able to. No, just because you can doesn't mean you should. But that really helped. So as long as you're like self-motivated and not afraid to like fall down and like get dirt in your mouth and like rocks in your knees and all those things, I think you'll be okay. It helps to have a big sphere and not be afraid because it's always different and it's always changing. And what nobody tells you is nobody really knows what they're doing. Like, we learn new things all the time. The market's always changing, and maybe it used to be different. I've only been in for 3 years, so like, I got in at a good time. The market was moving and popping, and it has not been as good the last year or so, but that's okay because I wanted to slow down anyway. It wasn't the hustle that I was looking for. So that's also where you can like, I think you can get caught up in it a little bit. If you're just moving on a transactional basis, there's things you can do like Zillow, where you do lead generation. Realtor.com, a lot of agents are buying leads. And so like when you click on those, a lot of people don't know this either, fun fact. When you click on Zillow and you're like, I want to talk to an agent, you think you're going to get the agent that has the house listed. In my mind, I used to think that. But no, you get whoever is next on the queue for who paid for those leads.
Because they show pictures too,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
you're not even
So you think that like, it's a mind game, kind of. If you scroll down farther, you can see who the actual listing agent is and all the things. A lot of people just don't even know how real estate works.
Yeah.
They just call who's on the side, and that's how it works, right? Well, you don't just go into Supercuts and get your hair done if you want to get some good hair.
Right.
You get what you get, right?
Right.
And sometimes you get really lucky. And I worked with a lot of great clients. I used to buy leads, but it's not something I do for my business anymore. I just crave more of an authentic, genuine connection because the chaos, unpacking the chaos I found, buying the leads was getting me the chaos, but it doesn't always pan out. And then when you're moving in that manner, like everything's moving in that manner, and you're reactive and you're not necessarily making mindful choices. And so that's where I kept finding myself slipping, and then wanting to unpack and slow down in the real estate world. And so I guess I'm really not answering your question, but how do you get in school? And then my best advice would be find somebody to take you under their wing, because the culture in the real estate world isn't, there's a lot of agents working to change it. I will say there's a lot of girl bosses out there right now that are really trying to help each other and lift each other up. But there are a lot of gatekeepers in the industry, and they're not super nice. And it was really kind of hard pushing my way in the door. Everybody's been really nice now that I've pushed my way in the door. But that first year was like, I don't know, like people fight about their forms, like who's best at their forms. And everybody makes mistakes. And I think if we move through the world and we're kinder to each other along the way, and we like are more collaborative, then it can help change everybody's experience. The buyers, the sellers, the other agents. We're all working together on a team for a common goal, is my mindset. But not everybody, like the old negotiator, is in there. And that's kind of like an old school mentality, I think, like where you're just, everybody's got their cards right here and I'm going to outthink you or outmaneuver you. How about we just put our cards right here and we talk about our cards, and maybe we can share our cards and we can find some common ground, because that's what's really going to win at the end of the day, not showing your client what a strong arm you have. Right. Or taking somebody down an emotional roller coaster along the way. And I think that when you're moving fast through things, you don't necessarily look for those different avenues, if that makes sense.
It does.
I don't know.
You're just in a hustle mindset, like
Correct.
a survival
Correct.
mindset.
Checking boxes
Yeah.
and doing things, and not necessarily looking at the whole picture and how you can get creative and stuff like that. So finding somebody that can take you under their wing and share those things with you. Those things would have been so killer to know right out the gates. Not being afraid to put yourself out there in the community. I think connection is a big part of it. Like authentic connection, where people remember you and you get to know real things about people.
Is that Fancy?
That's Fancy. We can let her in.
Do you guys want to see Fancy?
Yes.
Hi, Fancy.
Come here, Minor. She doesn't usually get to come in here.
Hi. Oh, you're getting spoiled today.
She is getting spoiled today. We are doing floors over the weekend, so we'll let some wiener dog dust in the den.
Hi, Fancy.
She's the codependent wiener dog.
Okay, not to totally sidetrack, but tell us about Fancy.
Well, Fancy was actually my emotional support wiener. We support each other. Some real life here. 8 years ago, in the thick of the chaos, right at the beginning of my diagnosis of scleroderma, we talked about this, I ended up with a DUI. I was headed home from our friends on a Friday night, and I got pulled over on my way home on Stamfley Lane, and I got a DUI. And that was terrible because I worked in Susanville. It was during a busy time of my employment. Like, I just didn't see a way through life without a driver's license, right? So I was extra depressed, and my kids bought her for me for Christmas. It was an early Christmas present. So she has been following me around. She goes to Europe with me. She's
been to Europe?
Yeah, she's been to Europe. She's been to Germany and Italy and the Canary Islands. She went to yoga teacher training school with me.
Really?
Yeah, they let her come with me, so that was fun. Fancy has been to, let's see,
She really is fancy.
Florida. Yeah, she's flown to Florida and
cool.
Southern California a few times. She's a traveling wiener dog.
Fancy, you are true to the name.
And she is just a chill little princess. She is exactly like her name. We named her Fancy and set her up for failure. She's happy as long as she has blankets and snacks and her mom, mainly me.
Cute. How old is she?
7.
7?
Yep.
Oh, you're still a little young girl. Have you thought about doing like the puppy yoga or?
I have. So during the summer, we do yoga up at Copper Creek Camp. And they have a big deck out there, and she has a bunch of dogs, and so I'm hoping to do a dog yoga class, at least maybe once a month or something like that, because Sutter's a dog lover and another boss babe, or woman in business, and she has a whole pile of dogs, and she has a wiener dog.
That would be awesome.
Yep.
Or you guys could partner with one of the shelters and bring in shelter animals to promote adoption.
That's a good idea. I wonder if we could do an event. That's a great idea.
That would be so cool, especially the senior dogs. They just want to
oh my gosh,
lay down with you.
And I did notice that when I first got into yoga, I was doing classes out of my house, which talk about. Anyway, so I had my dogs in there, and they're pretty good. Once they say hi,
Yeah.
They
sniff the area.
And then they lay down and do their own thing. But I would find like if I had clients or people doing yoga that would stop breathing, she would always come check on them. I had one in particular. She would always hold her breath, and Fancy would go check on her and make sure she was okay. So they're super intuitive.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Animals are funny. Yeah.
Well, let me know about the dog yoga.
I will. I'm gonna think about that.
Yeah.
I've had the opportunity to do a couple cool things with kids too. I got to do some paddleboard yoga last year with the kids at the Roundhouse program.
How cool.
That was good for my soul. And then I've been working with Parks and Rec here in Greenville, hoping to start some classes at their community space when they open the gym there at the high school. And then also with the seniors down at the senior apartments, I'm going to hopefully offer some chair yoga classes with them. So I'm excited about that.
Awesome. So do you have to get like a different type of license to do different types of yoga, or what's the rules?
I am certified in Vinyasa and Hatha. And so for chair's just a modification for it. So we're just doing a modified. And I would like to add yin. It's more of a, like, you sit in the postures. Right now, Andre Esau, he is another yoga teacher in the area. He comes and does classes here on Wednesdays. But he's leaving in June, so sad. And so I was thinking, where I got certified, they're offering one this fall. So I'm thinking I might add yin to my repertoire. And I also want to get trauma informed. I'd like to get some more trauma certification, because just my past and everything I've been through, healing relationship-wise and just soul-level generational trauma healing, I would like to share that with people. And I think that this is a neat space that might be able, if I think outside the box, we might be able to do cool things. So anyway, that's just in the works, thinking about that.
So let's talk about your yoga then, because we touched base on the corporate life and then your transition over to real estate. And then, so you've been in real estate for 3.5 years, you said?
Correct.
And then you went to the yoga retreat.
Yep.
But you didn't have the intention of teaching at
No.
first. It was just for you.
Yes.
Okay, so walk us through, like, you're in Spain, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I want to share this.
Yes.
And you come back.
So,
What happened?
Before I even left, I announced, I'm like, coming soon, Alicia's Zendan, February 2024. And this was I went in November. So I was like, I'm going to come back, I'm going to convert my garage, and we're going to get to it. No. No. I'm like, my squirrel brain swirled. I had a brain, we can go back. Anyway, so I was like, I wanted to add, when I said I made all that money in real estate, what came along with that is a lot of taxes. I want everybody to know that I owed over $75,000 in taxes.
Did you cry?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, did you go to like 10 different tax people? Like, please?
I tried to get it undone, and after you file, it's just done. You're just done, and you have to just pay it.
Girl, that's what some people make a year.
I know, and I was like, this isn't fair. There's no way that, like, people don't pay that kind of taxes. So I don't know what happened, but I was like, this is my journey. It's fine. I don't have to like it, but I have to take it. And it was 2 days after I got to Europe to spend 2 months. It was when I was going to get certified. So it was when I was going to the yoga training. Right before that, I'd taken 2 months off work. I was just going to trust God, and, like, I'm going on this journey. $75,000. You want to see the blood leave from, like, your body really fast, like. Oh. And they're like, do you want to send in a payment? I was like,
yeah.
No, I want to stay in Europe and never come home. I'm selling my house.
Did you consider that?
Yeah, no, I actually did. I actually did. I was like, so if I flee the country,
Right.
maybe they just won't let me come back. I mean,
They don't even have social security numbers in Europe.
no, it's fine. Like, I'm just like, bye. I like it over here. So anyway, I was thinking about the money that I spent in the Zendan, and I was like, I need to preface that. Like, that was also part of the reflection for why I needed to be purposeful with my business. Like, what's the point of making all that money if you're just giving it back to the government? Like, wait, I just made all this money. I'm like, woohoo, I'm a girl boss. I'm a woohoo. And then I was like, woohoo. I don't want to make that much money ever again. So here I am. With my nonprofit yoga. Okay, I don't know where we were before that, but, like, my head squirreled and I needed to tell that.
Girl, oh, 75,000. Like, the second I would have seen that there was a
comma. Why is there a comma? And why do I owe 5 figures to the IRS for 1 year of being in business? 1 year.
Was it worth it, though?
I girl bossed hard.
It's a little too hard.
Little too hard. That was when that was viral on like TikTok too, and I
Yeah.
was super active on social media. So when I made that TikTok, I was not kidding.
Girl bossed a little too
Girl
hard.
bossed a little too hard. So like it's been a journey, like learning all those things and then like being like, okay, so wait, why did I do all that? And like, what do I really want? So that when the IRS sends me a bill for $75,000, like, did I really live the life I wanted to live that year? No, probably not. Like, I would rather take 2 months off and work a little less and have the life that really supports my nervous system, which is what I found needed regulating. Because in the hustle culture, we're not regulated at all. Like, we're just like, go, 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 go. But we weren't designed to live like that either, were we?
No.
No.
So
Okay.
you're headed to Europe.
Yep.
$75,000.
Yes.
You're like, fuck it, I'm just not going to come
Yeah,
home.
no, like, yeah, whatever. Like, well, and I've really learned, I dove into my spirituality really, and I just have to trust that God's got a plan for me because I have tried to have a plan for myself my whole life, and that didn't work. So, like, this is my only other plan. If he doesn't have me, I don't know who does. Like, so I really have leaned into that, and leaning into that, like, I've opened more space. Like, I wake up in the morning and some days, like, I just do what I can and I let the day show me what I need to do. And I have connected with people on such a different level because of that. And I can't help but believe that that will pan off in all the other areas of my life, like real estate. I don't have to hustle in real estate. I don't have to go tell everybody I'm the best real estate agent or here I am. If I'm just living a good life and people know I do real estate, they're going to tell each other that I do real estate, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and if you want to buy a home, you're going to call me. I don't have to sell you a home. These are big life decisions. So moving through life has really, in yoga, I think has helped me with the real estate, like give people space to do them. That's a big life decision. I don't need to tell you how to spend $500,000 and then call you every 2 days to see if you've decided to spend $500,000. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's a hard enough decision as it is. And I think I've been pressured enough in life that pressure is just not something that I'm willing to put on people in any aspect, really. So
I definitely think that I think women are coming more into business and we're just bringing an entirely different culture to it. Like,
soften, like,
yes, exactly.
Holy cow, it doesn't have to be. I really did realize that too, bringing it back to that when I first got in real estate from corporate America in the man's world, and I worked in corporate ag, which was also cultural because you're working with a lot of Hispanic and Spanish people, which it's just a different culture with women, period. And then also like a lot of older white men, honestly. And so to gain traction and to get them to take you seriously, you have to come with your shoulders back, ready to take one on the chin and like ready to go toe to toe with those men. And so I learned to be more direct in that, and I wasn't as soft. And so then when I got into real estate, and then it's a lot of women, and they like feelings, and they like a lot of words and all the fluffy things, some. And so then I did find that I had to soften my communication style because I was too bullet pointed and too direct, and people were like taking me like I was being aggressive when I was just being direct. And I was used to moving in a direct world. And it was a little softer over here, so I had to learn to be a little softer over here.
Yeah. Well, it's like that double standard. Like, women aren't allowed to be direct.
No.
You know?
No.
And sometimes that's exhausting because I don't really mind directness, especially like when I need to get things done. I'm like, girl, just let me know.
Yeah.
But there's a balance.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the real estate paired with the yoga is like the perfect balance for you.
It is. It's like a paradox, really. There's both sides. And it's like my personality, too. I've got two sides to my personality.
It's like a yin and yang.
Yeah, the yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're in Europe. You got a comma on your taxes.
Yes.
Why did you decide to come back?
That's it. Why did I decide to come back? So, because I love it here. And this is really home. And no matter how far I travel or how long I stay away, my heart really, the space that I've created here, it feels safe. And I love my community. And I love the people here. And we've been through a lot, really. And we just keep going. And I don't think that that's healthy. And I wanted to create a place where people could maybe like think about that a little bit and slow down a little bit to maybe even think about what's important, because we get moving so fast and we just lose sight. Everything's important and everything's urgent and everybody needs constant access to you, and we've got these little phones that tell us that, and the watch on our wrist that's buzzing at us when we're connecting with somebody else, or there's always something important. And so in this space here, people can pause. And it's been really a beautiful thing, the conversations that have come from it, and the people that show up. It's not the people that I thought would show up, really.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, tell us more about that.
It's been just a really eclectic mix. You get the farmers and the ranchers, and you get the artists, and you get the young girls, and you get them all in the same room, and the conversations are different. And the lenses are different from where everybody's coming from. Everybody's in different places in their life, and nobody's really like, I guess you think of yoga classes like as all these fitness people are coming to yoga. It's not like that
Super
here.
flexible.
No, it's not like that here at all. Like, it's a chill yoga class.
Okay.
And like, everybody's comfortable, whether you're in your t-shirt and your sweats, or you're in your yoga pants, or whatever. You've got puke in your hair from your kid because that's all you've done for the last week is take care of sick kids. Or if you're at the next phase in your life where you're learning how to slow down in the mornings because you're retired. Whatever it is, it's just creating space for different kinds of connection. And I think that that's kind of what I wanted to do. And so I came and I started to do this, and February 2024 came and went, and March came and went, and April and May and June and July, and it was such a hard way. It was so much work. It's so much more work. Like, I thought I'd convert my garage, but then you're like, but nobody wants to be on your gross garage floor. And nobody wants to be with your dog, so we put up the wall. And then I started to paint the garage door. I couldn't afford a new garage door at the time because it's a nonprofit, right? And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to chalk paint the garage door. Looks great now, right? Like, that's 5 coats of chalk paint.
Oh, shit. Girl, you're like, I should have just bought the garage door.
Yes, on a ratty-ass garage door. Like, there's a hole over there. I spray painted it gold because, like,
I can't even
it's
tell.
glitter and it shines.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, like, by the time I got to spraying the hardware on the garage door, we were spraying over the dust and the dirt. I was like, I don't even care. It's gold.
It's that landlord special.
Yeah, it is. So, I don't know, like, we finally got the space. I launched last October. And until then, I was doing classes at Copper Creek Camp, Riley's Jerky. So I've had some pop-ups. We did Bend and Brew. And then, where else? My living room, a lot in my living room. And since then, we've been here. And I run classes here every Tuesday, Thursday. And then Andre runs classes on Wednesdays. I do mornings and evenings. And then that leaves me Monday, Wednesday, Friday for real estate. And same with the weekends. I try to have a protection day because I find that I stay the most sane if I can connect and ground and not answer my phone. Because by nature, I am not a people person, even though I've got all this, like, I say E because it's a Myers-Briggs personality type. That takes me back to corporate America, my extroverted side. But I'm a learned extrovert, I think. I don't think I'm naturally an extrovert. I think that I'm really an introvert by nature, and that I've learned behavior, become an extrovert, like, to survive. But I don't want to survive anymore. I want to live my life. So I hide in the woods a lot and then give people the space that I can.
And what do you call it, a protection day?
A protection day, yeah.
What day is it, can I ask?
I try to keep Sundays. It's either Sunday or Monday, usually. But
Nobody texts her Sunday, Monday. Leave her alone,
leave
guys.
me alone. So
Yeah.
I even took, like, my cleaning out of it because I used to clean on Sundays too and keep it Sundays. So now if I clean on Sunday, then I'll go for a hike or something on Monday, and vice versa, Monday or Sunday. But I'm really anal, and I have found that as, like, free spirit as I seem, I really am a woman that likes, order and routine. Mm-hmm. And I'm a creature of habit, even though it looks like I don't know what's going on, I really do.
That's beautiful.
So, like, I clean my floors on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, weird things like that. Mm-hmm. So I just have found that those habits actually help too. The illusion of order really helps my brain because I've got one of those ADHD brains that you've probably noticed. I can't answer any of your questions.
She's doing great, guys. Wonderful.
I scroll all over the place. But it also helps me get a lot done too, right?
Yes,
Like, I'm
yes.
a powerhouse because I can focus on 95 different things well. Mm-hmm. And then I can also completely check out. And
I love that, though, a
Yeah.
protection day. I
Yeah.
think I need to do that.
You do. Like, if your cup isn't full, you cannot give to anybody else. And we give so much more than you ever really think. Like, your friend that calls on the phone and she's like, oh my gosh, I had the worst day, and she's telling you all about that day. You're giving. Like, in all those little things, everything that you say yes to with your time, you're really giving of yourself. So you have to protect that time for yourself. And it's not giving to yourself if you're still giving to other people. You have to have time for yourself, whether you think so or not. Eventually it'll catch up to you. If it's in your body, your mind, you'll have a mental breakdown, anxiety, stress, sleep, whatever it is. We just don't move slow enough to know that that's what's causing it.
Yeah.
We're just like, I don't sleep, and I'm just heavy, and I can't get this weight off, and all those things. But when you pause and you soften, then you know, like, that's coming from somewhere. And then ask yourself why. Be inquisitive. That would be another piece of advice. Like, I just did things through my life, like because I thought I needed to, or whatever stories that I was told. And I never really asked why. So I think that if I was giving somebody business advice or advice in life, I would be like, ask yourself why. Like, why do you even want to do that? Maybe you don't.
Yeah.
You know? Like, why am I doing this? Does it make sense? Is it what I want? Is it adding towards the life that I'm trying to build? Or is it taking away? And if it's taking away even a little bit, pause. I would encourage practicing the pause. That's my high horse today, sitting up on my bolster.
In what ways have you seen your life change since you've paused and you're doing things that, like your soul work, as
all
my
the
friend
things.
Oceana calls it?
My relationships. My relationships have just become so much deeper and more authentic. And the connection with people. And then my peace. I didn't honestly know that peace existed. You know, you hear peace and all the things, but like to actually experience true peace and contentment, even when you have nothing. Like, because there's been days, like when you're self-employed, this winter was tight. Like girl hung out in Europe a little too long. You know what I mean? Like I might have eaten a few too many tiramisus and went on the fast train too many times. And you learn those things. Like, okay, I need to go into this winter. If I want to take the time off, I need to go in with more of a buffer. And then also just trusting that you're going to have those seasons where it is more available for you, and then learning what to do in the seasons when it's not, and learning to trust, and learning to just get creative and all of those things. I don't know. I've softened a lot. I've stopped forcing things. I used to push my way through everything, and I could always find a way. And now I tend to soften and be like, resistance here, maybe not. And then look for something new and not be afraid to find something new, because that's also another story we're told. Like maybe we're failures if I think we live a bunch of different lives.
Heavy on that.
And
yes.
What's successful in one life is perfect. Yeah, I was successful in the corporate world. I sat at the desk. I did all the things. I showed up at the 9 to 5. I worked out of the office. And that was perfect. That's what I showed my kids, how to do that and how to support my family and how to be dedicated and show up and do hard things and learn new things and be outside of my comfort zone and all those things, grit and strength. And now I can also show them that it's okay to say that doesn't work for me anymore and I want to do something else. And that's okay. And just permission for that to be okay. Because I think for a long time in society, there hasn't been permission for that to be okay. Not in my world anyway, not the way I was raised. There was a lot of old school mentality and just pressure that I had on myself that I don't even know should have ever been there. Mm-hmm. But slowing down and balancing the yoga and the real estate and all of my different worlds now has really opened my eyes to a journey of self-exploration and who I am, what I want to wear. I found a lot of my thinking through life was driven on maybe people's perception or normal or what people think professional is. When I first started working in real estate, I had a colleague ask me, I had sent a video. I was thinking outside the box. I was going to send this client a video. And I'm like, hey, hi, nice to meet you. I'm your agent. I'd love to earn your business, blah, blah, blah. I had a sweatshirt on in the video.
I would have loved that.
And she looks at me and she goes, it's great, but you're wearing a sweatshirt. I'm like, we all have sweatshirts, right? People are normal, right? But then it was an older client, and then they didn't call me back for a few days, and then in my head I was like, oh, should I have been wearing a blazer? I literally did that. That was in early real estate days. And I started questioning, am I too much? Am I all those things that I was finally having safe space to be be me. I wear fun buns and I wear flashy earrings, and I am too much for a lot of people, but I'm not too much for the people that are for me. And so she questioned me and I questioned myself, and then that sent me down a whole rabbit hole of like self-exploration. And I did fall into I'm a realtor, I should wear this. And now I just wear what I'm gonna wear. And some days I'm like, oh, I'm wearing my fun bun. I have a beanie that's got 2 balls on top of it, and you cannot take anybody seriously if they show up with balls on top of their head. And I wear it to meet clients because that's who I am. And if you don't like that, then you're definitely not gonna like me. That's a red flag. I am a red flag. But like for a lot of people, it's a green flag too.
He's doing the downward dog, or she's doing the downward dog.
She does a great down dog and an up dog at yoga school. She would do it, I swear. She would go up to the front of the class and she would do her down dog and she would do her up dog. And
she's all positioned on the mat perfectly too.
She knows. Dogs know more than people give them credit for, and she knows she's never ever been in here really. So.
Oh, that's super. Sorry, I totally got distracted. She was just over here killing
squirrel
the
brains.
downward
Yeah,
dog.
she's like she knows. She's experienced in down dog. Wiener dogs have the best form for it too.
Too cute. Do you feel like it's been beneficial for you to has it helped your business instead of what people from the old school mentality would say it's probably going to hurt your business?
I think so. I honestly think so because I don't know, I'm finding a business that works for me, right? Like a sustainable business. And isn't that what we're all in business to do, is to build a sustainable business that works for us? Which takes me back to like another thing, like there's enough business out there for all of us. There are a lot of people in this world. And if I wanted to list every house in Plumas County, I couldn't do it, right? So like the ones that I've got, there's plenty for the next agent and the next one, and same with people. There's plenty of people. And I think if we move through life with that mentality and just that aura about us, I think that, I don't know, it really has, it's brought me the business that I want, and that was my goal. Mm-hmm. And I don't find myself, I'm loving my work, I'm doing things that I want to do and working with people that I want to work with. And am I as busy? No. And then on those days I remind myself, you did this. You could be living that life. I didn't need to walk away from what I walked away from. I chose to walk away from what I walked away from. And that goes along with things. I'm not going to owe the IRS $75,000, but I also maybe don't get to buy the clothes. I rent clothes. There's an app called Nuuly, fun fact for all the girls out there.
I'll link it.
Dude, it's legit. So, and it's all high end. Yeah, no.
What's
so
it called?
Nuuly, N-U-U-L-Y.
Sponsor this.
Yeah. And it's all high end clothes. Like these pants are Nuuly. They're free people. And it's like Anthropology,
like
free people, good clothes. You pick your
Yeah.
clothes. You get 6 pieces a month, and it's $100 a month. And then you also have the option to buy the pieces for a discounted rate because they're all worn, like they're coming to you used. And you can also rent by like cheapest to buy, things that are leaving soon. So it's incredible because then you always have a killer new clothes. You're not spending money at Temu or these, don't even send me down that rabbit hole too. Like the clothes you put on your body matters, our earth matters. There's enough clothes on the planet right now to last for the next 6 generations. Where are they going to go? And nobody's thinking about that, right? Because we're sending them off to other countries to pile in their ocean. Nobody wants to think about that either. Rabbit holes, ladies. Processed food, anybody want to talk about that?
Oh my gosh, don't even get me started on processed foods.
Yeah. So pharma, I could go down all these rabbit holes. Everybody should.
Yeah, do some research.
But so the rental clothes are really rad because like I don't buy clothes anymore. I just have my 6 silly pieces that I send back. And if I have a rule, I will rent it for 3 months. And if I still want it after the 3rd month, then I will buy it. If I have rented it for 2 months and I'm starting to wear it less and feel over it, it's not going to be a staple in my closet, right? And that's like, I love clothes. And I've had a clothing problem my whole life. And I've gotten rid of a lot of clothes, but now I've like tried to simplify my life. I'm simplifying everything, minimizing. What can I live on like the least? Groceries, like I don't waste anything anymore. I just try to reuse and repurpose everything and just live more of a minimalist life, which means I have to work less, right? So then I can be more choosy about what I do, right? I don't have to take that headache job or that because I'm moving through fight or flight and out of desperation. I think if we dial the things down, like, do I really need to eat out all those times this week? Not that it's an option here, but like if
Yeah.
it was,
We're
I would really like to eat out. We are starving.
Yeah, we're starving.
Oh, but
We need Taco Bell back.
oh, I don't know about Taco Bell. I can endorse the Mediterranean restaurant in Chester. How about that?
I've heard that place is really good.
The baklava.
Is it like, it looks very authentic.
It is. It's so
Looks
good. It's
good.
so good.
I haven't been yet. I'm
Yeah.
waiting for my mom to come up and visit me again so we can go together.
And don't share the baklava. Eat it yourself.
Okay.
You definitely want it. My mom, she has dementia, and I love her so much. I take care of her sometimes, and I've been sharing space with her. So we went. Quick story. We went and ate in Chester at the Mediterranean place. Brought the baklava home. She ate it. It was kind of messy. One of the pieces, it came with 4. So later that night, I was like, hey, Mom, do you want an ice cream sandwich or do you want baklava for dessert? And she's like, what's baklava? And I was like, oh, it was that messy thing. Remember? It got everywhere. She's like, oh, yeah, I want the ice cream sandwich. I was like, perfect. I ate the baklava.
It looks so good.
She didn't want to bother with the mess. I was saving her from herself. But anyway, it's so good. So if you like baklava.
What else did you get from there? What was your
I like
entree?
the chicken shawarma. It's my favorite, but it's really intense on the garlic. So if you have a garlic aversion at all or sensitive, I would go with the skewers. That's the safe option. But the chicken shawarma is so good. And anything else like the dolma, the grape leaves that they have, that's not what they call them. And the hummus. The hummus. It's so good.
Have you been to Sage and Salt?
I haven't yet. I want to try it. I've heard it's really good though.
It's really good, and it's very like whole grains. Like they offer, you can get a bowl with quinoa or brown rice, and I'm like, oh my gosh, some whole grains on a menu.
It's exactly what we need too.
Yes.
It's nice to have things like that popping up. So I
Yeah.
want to support all of them. I do have to eat out. See, I have to eat out to support local businesses so
Exactly.
that they'll stay open so that when I want to eat out, they are open.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what was the name? The Grind?
The Grind, yeah, the Valley Grind in Greenville. And Region Burger's there too. She's cooking with beef tallow, which is really neat.
Oh,
She's frying in tallow now instead of seed oils. So everything fried is in tallow. So that's pretty neat.
So that, I'm sure that gives it like a really, like a deep flavor.
Yep. And then also, like, her chicken strips are gluten-free, which is nice. So people with sensitive stomachs, my stomach does not like anything.
Yeah.
So I have to be really careful what I eat.
Well, we have so much nasty stuff in our, I mean, half the stuff that we eat is not even legal in other countries.
No, it's that takes me. Being in Europe, I eat everything. I was eating tiramisu every night. I could smash a whole pizza. I have not touched pizza in the States since the fire. The last time I ate pizza in the States was when the fire went through. And it wreaked havoc on my system. The cheese, the gluten, the grease, all the tomato, none of it. But over there, I can eat everything. So I don't know if it's GMOs. I think it's a combination of a lot of things. The things that we put on our foods, the additives. I stay away from anything packaged. If it comes in a package, I really just try to avoid it altogether unless I can read all the ingredients on the package. And even then, is it in a plastic package? Because that's a whole nother rabbit hole that I can go down.
Yeah.
But like, those are things that I would have never thought of in my old life. And moving slower and more mindfully, I'm thinking through those things. And chemistry in your body doesn't lie. Like, I'm healthier now than I've ever been in my whole life. I've never looked like this. When I first felt my cheekbones, I've had a round face my whole life. Every picture of me, I've always had just this big basketball head. It's been who I am. And I have cheekbones now. And the first time I felt them, I was like, oh no, what is that? It's a lump. And my friend Shelly, she goes, it's your cheekbone. I was like, okay, didn't even know I had those, but that's odd. So, like
Yeah.
those things. So did it all work? I don't know. Am I seeing rocks come out of my fingers anymore? No, not really. Am I sleeping without sleeping medication? Yep. Every night for the most part. Do I wake up? Yeah. I mean, it also perspective. Like, life is what we choose. We find happiness in every day. I could tell you all the things that are going wrong in my life and my business and all the things. But like, I have a beautiful life and I have a beautiful place and I'm sharing beautiful things with beautiful people, and that's what it's really about, right? Not everything society tells us it's about. And it was really like unlearning corporate America and all those things and my 401k. I don't have a 401k anymore. I spent it. Do I know what I'm going to do for retirement? No, I don't. Am I trusting that it's all going to work out? Absolutely. I'm 40 years old. I've got a lot of time left. Like,
Cheers to that.
I don't have to have a 401k right now. I just have to, all my bills are paid, right? Like, I'm eating good food, I'm traveling, I have good relationships with my kids, I have friends, I have lights. I'm blessed abundantly in all the ways, even if it's not the way everybody tells you it should be.
I think that's such a beautiful word, abundance, because I think that wealth and like money and the monetary system, I think that's very patriarchy. I think a woman's frequency is abundance.
Yes.
And that's so much more than, that doesn't mean money. That doesn't mean you're rich. I mean, look what 300,000 got. An IRS bill that had a damn comma in it.
A comma.
That's
more
insane.
than most people, a lot of people make in a year. That is like people's target income.
Right. That's good money for people.
I owe the IRS that.
That's insane. And I think that women, we're abundant, and that just means so much more than money. It means in every aspect. Like you said, your food, you have your business, your relationships. I think that is what women should strive for. It breaks my heart when I see, not to go on a total tangent, but it breaks my heart when I see women just sabotage themselves because they're in a scarcity mindset.
Yes.
And they're just chasing the next dollar,
The choices we make because we feel like we have to.
Yes.
Or because somebody told us that that's what a good life looked like, the clean house, the pressure. I think about the pressure that I put on my family. Like the times I yelled at my kids, I was a yeller for a lot of years, to have a clean house. I have a clean house now. There's a time for that. Enjoy your kids. Like, we don't have to hustle and do all of the things that society tells you to do. Live a beautiful life. Live a beautiful, messy life. And it doesn't have to look like anything else that makes sense to anybody else. And if I would have listened to people along the way, my family, people that told me, like, are you really leaving your job? Yeah, I'm leaving my job. And in my resignation letter, I put, if you see me living in a van down by the river, know that I'm happy. And I meant it, and I really still mean it. Like, if you ever see my house go on the market, like, I hiked a little too much, but guess what? I'm going to keep hiking. And I'm going to figure it out, and it's going to be okay. Because I can make $300,000 if I want to, right? It's out there. There's jobs out there. I can go back to a 9-to-5. I'm not scared. But, like, it is scary coming to that conclusion. It was really scary getting there.
What do you think helped you get through that? Like, how did you finally come to the conclusion, like, I don't even care, like,
my fear of the other side, like, knowing what I felt like before, like, I was so lost and lonely and depressed, and I didn't even know it, because I could girl boss so hard, like, nobody even knew that, like, nobody, even today, like, when I go through things, nobody even has any clue, because I have this aura about me, you know, because it's all fine, because it is. Even on the hard days, it's fine. Even on the days, it's better than fine. It's great. Like, even on the days where I don't want to do it, I still do it, because showing up for yourself is what really matters. And I show up for me because that's what makes me feel whole at the end of the day. And maybe showing up for me looks different every day. And that looks like putting on my shoes and putting on my headphones and listening to a podcast and stacking wood, because that's all I can do that day. That's okay. And if I do that for 3 days in a row, cool. And then if another day it's on the computer just grinding hard because I have a bunch of creative ideas, that's what it is. And then if it's hitting the streets because I have a lot of energy for people, and then trusting that it's all going to work out and that there's going to be enough for everybody and that what's coming for me will not miss me even if I take a wrong turn. And it's admitting failure earlier on, like when I feel like this is the wrong route. Don't be afraid to be like, I got it wrong. Because I did get it wrong. I hired a online assistant one time, like a virtual assistant, which was great. Like, you can hire virtual assistants and they pay them a super great living for them, which is like, sorry about my, it was like $4 an hour, but that's huge. It's abundance for them. So you feel good about it. They feel good about it.
$4 an hour?
Yeah, he was out of the Philippines and he was amazing. Yeah. But it was definitely not what I needed at the time. Yeah. And I was like, I have to have my stuff together way more on a cellular level before I can ask somebody else to do that stuff for me. And that's, I think, where we get caught up sometimes in moving quickly is growing too fast.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we need to grow slow. Mm-hmm. I need to have all those times here in this Zen Den with my beginner students and people that are just coming to yoga to have those retreats someday. Because I would love to host retreats someday. And there's a lot of great space for that. But that's not where I'm at right now. I need to learn how to move here before I can move here. And it's being humble and taking all those small steps, not being afraid to suck. Oh man, I sucked so bad. It's so many things all the time. And like not being afraid to be authentic about it in front of people, because when we give people space with that vulnerability, we give them space to be vulnerable. And like when somebody, you never know who's looking at you wishing that they could have what you have. So be careful of the things that you put out there and the way you frame things. I don't know. I'm on a tangent again. I just start talking about things and then keep talking.
No, that's okay. You really don't know who you might be influencing.
Yeah.
You know, and I think one of the best things about me for my journey in doing all this is I've met some women who are really shy, and I meet a lot of women who I can tell they're very like untrusting, and I get met with a lot of skepticism, like nobody's this nice, nobody's just doing this for women just to do it for women, you know, like I get met with a lot of that. And I think what's so rewarding is seeing those shy, reserved, you know, skeptical women like start to come out of their shell and become comfortable.
Well, because you're doing something that's hard, right? Like that's what made me want to be on this podcast, is watching what you're doing. You're putting yourself out there in a community of people that you don't know. You are new to town and you're putting yourself out there in a big way for women. That's big. What you're doing is big, it's bold, and it's beautiful. And there's not many people that are brave enough to do that. Yeah. So like, I support you and I applaud you for what you're doing, because like, it's scary. It's hard. It's hard to put yourself out there. And people are judgmental and mean.
Oh, especially in small towns.
And if you let that get to you, well, if I let all the people get to me that questioned what I was doing, and you're just doing it. And it takes breaking through that, because even the people that are like closest to you don't necessarily support you in the ways you think they're going to until it takes traction. And then everybody's for you, right? But they're like, oh, I don't know what she's doing over there.
Right.
What I've done probably doesn't make sense to anybody. And that's okay. It doesn't even make sense to me. I'm just doing what I feel called to do and hoping that it's all going to work out. And I might be wrong. I don't know. Or you may see me teaching beautiful retreats somewhere someday and be like, I connected with her. Yeah. She did it. And maybe, who knows, maybe I'm a travel agent. I don't know what I'm going to do in my next life. And I might have 10 more of them. But right now I'm a real estate agent that loves to do yoga. Or maybe I'm a yoga teacher that slings real estate. I don't know how I want to preface it. But I'm me, and I'm quirky, and I'm taking up lots of space, and it's not for everybody, and that's okay.
What are some plans that you have for yourself or your business?
Plans for myself and my business.
Or any exciting news for upcoming things?
Real estate, I'm just really leaning into whatever comes my way. I don't know what it looks like, to be honest. And some days I question if it's like my ultimate path, but I like it, and it feels good. It's fulfilling. Yoga, same there. I'm really excited about. I really feel like I'm leaning into expanding that area of my life more, and I feel like real estate's just gonna come naturally from that area. And maybe I'm delulu, but I'm okay with that. I want to get more into. I like working with kids, so I want to dive into that, and I don't know what that looks like. I love sharing space with kids. I've done yoga with the softball team a few times, and that's fun. It's interesting trying to connect with them. They're harder to get to. So, but I found just being me helps because kids are used to adults being adults. And I think that if you're less serious with them and just hold more of an open space with less ideals and more space for them to just actually be humans, it helps. And I like to show up for kids because I think I could have used somebody like me in my younger life. I come from a background of, my dad was a narcissist, a horrible narcissist, which I'll preface that with, he found God and sobriety. And so I got to watch that journey for him and my kids, which was incredible. And I lost him back in, I'm so bad with dates, 16 maybe. But it was good. My dad was a narcissist, and my mom dealt with that. I was adopted, so there's so much more to my story than that. And there's a lot of layers there. I came from a lot of trauma that I didn't even know I had. And so unpacking that and just seeing, I grew up in a small town, and I didn't realize how I was treated as a kid, because when you're a kid, you don't get it. But then watching the way my kids were treated in a lot of situations in a small town, because of who I am and because of choices I made, opened my eyes to a lot of things. And so being that safe space for kids and treating all kids the same, no matter who they are, who their parents are, or what background they come from, because I think everybody has the same opportunity if they have a different, if they're given a different perspective. They just don't know. And I think that being an open, safe space for kids and women that have been through hard things, I don't know, I look forward to expanding on those areas because I feel passionately about that. And I think that I have a lot of experience and unique insight from the journey that I've healed from, that I could help those. So diving deeper into that, long-winded answer.
In what ways do you think that yoga helps kids?
Just getting comfortable in their bodies, really, because our bodies are so foreign, especially at that age, and we're so uncomfortable in general, and you think everybody else has it figured out. And so I think maybe like learning to trust yourself a little bit more, practicing the pause instead of seeking validation in words from other people, really diving into what you're thinking. And I don't think that we're encouraged to do that as kids or as often as we should be as adults. And just really getting comfortable, learning trust, learning to check in, learning to self-care, to take care of ourselves, that it's not selfish, all of those things. Even with my mom, I've been trying to help her unlearn some generational trauma stuff. And her words to me are, but isn't that selfish? And I'm like, no, Mom, it's not selfish. Asking yourself what you want is not selfish.
And even if it is selfish.
Yes, do it anyway.
Maybe selfish
you
isn't
spent the
bad
last
word.
70 years doing for everybody else.
Yeah.
Now is time to really figure out. I'm excited about that too, helping my mom, because I think that helping her become more mobile and with nutrition, and I think yoga really takes us back to the way we were meant to live. Like, we weren't meant to live with constant stimulation. We weren't meant to live in fight or flight. We're not being chased by tigers, but we're living like we're being chased by tigers.
That's a really good analogy.
You know, like,
Yeah.
and so you need to stop and tell yourself, no tigers chased me today. What is really important? And lay on your back and just think about it, right? And like, how often does anybody actually do that? When you lay down in bed at night, that's the first time you've done that. And then you wonder why you can't sleep.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going to start incorporating that like in my daily life.
Yeah.
Like, is a tiger chasing me?
Yeah. Is a tiger chasing me? No. What am I doing here?
Yeah. And if a tiger was chasing me, is this what I would want to be doing?
Correct.
Before
Is
I
this
die?
how I'm going down?
Right.
Juggling all these things that aren't even mine. You just
Yeah.
noticed that you were carrying 6 people's backpacks and you're not even sure where you picked them up or
Yeah.
why you're carrying them.
Focus on
You
my
know,
natural
like
laws.
all those things. I don't know. So I think that yoga just gives kids space to maybe inquire on things that they aren't naturally is in tune to inquire on, and maybe practicing the pause in those adolescent years, and having a space to be uncomfortable with being uncomfortable. Like, because yoga's a lot of being uncomfortable and then just breathing through it.
Yeah.
You're uncomfortable and you're safe. No tigers are chasing you. You're just in a downward facing dog. Press up out of those hands, lift those hips to the sky, and take a deep breath. Okay.
Let's do it.
Like, this is like, sorry, fancy. Seriously, the most calming position. Or even like, this is a down dog. Your feet are just back, your feet are hips width distance apart, hands are hips or shoulder width distance apart. Your head just nod at yes, shake it no. Lift those hips up and back as you're painting the sky with your bottom. And then release that chest down and just take a deep breath in. Open mouth sigh. And then just relax. Another one that's good is tiptoe to the front of the mat. And then just standing forward fold.
Okay, let me try this. My hair's falling apart. Okay, I need to ask you something like
Yep.
really serious.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever farted during yoga?
all the time. My friend Chessie won't mind me sharing this. My friend Chessie and I were doing yoga the other day, and you're doing this pose where you bring your legs back behind your head and you're in a bow. And then you rock forward and you stand up into a chair in one motion, like this.
Uh-huh.
And it was so unhinged. We were laughing and farting and breathing. It's normal. Like, you get down into puppy pose and you get your butt up like this, and you will just fart for like 10 days. And it's just like getting comfortable with stuff like that. When I went to yoga school, we talked about like the post yoga flow poop.
Oh my gosh.
And you're moving. You're getting into those intestines and you're doing all those things and you get things moving. And of course the gas is gonna go.
Yeah.
And like it's all the things.
It's probably been in it for years,
Oh my gosh. And
that corporate gas.
it is. It's like, goodbye, corporate America. I've been getting rid of it for about a year now. I don't know. It's like pausing, breathing, tuning in, tuning out. Even if it's like laying on your back with your feet up in the sky. This is another one of my favorites. Just feet up the wall. And just spend 5 minutes with your feet up the wall, with your eyes closed, breathing. Maybe one hand's on your chest, one hand's on your belly. And it's even better with the bolster underneath your butt. Like if you want to really do some yoga poses. But with the bolster, because then your hips tilt back and then your chest is a little lower than your legs, and it's really nice.
Do you do this in the woods?
Yes, sometimes. And I was doing, that's what I was doing, a Round Valley yoga hike. We would hike up to the tip top of Round Valley, and then you can see Mount Huff and Round Valley, and we do a little yoga flow up there. I love yoga in the woods. It's been fun.
Well, thank you so much for going over everything and your story, and I think I already see like so many little nuggets of gold in there.
Oh, I hope so. I don't know. I talk a lot.
No, it's going to be amazing.
I just did Follies not long ago.
What's that?
In Quincy, they did Star Follies for FRC. It was the fundraiser.
Oh.
And it's a big dance thing where everybody is assigned to like these dance performances, and then you go dance on stage, and it's like a big deal.
Oh, is it through Rhythm and Grace? Do they do it?
They participated in it, but it's an FRC fundraiser. It's all put on by the FRC board, and it's a huge thing. Like we did 4 performances over 2 nights with 2 dress rehearsals and a tech rehearsal. Yeah, it like costumes, dancing on stage, and I don't dance. And I was like, I agreed to it before I knew what it was. Anyway, lots of fear.
That's like a big girl, you're dancing.
I was dancing. My hips hurt so bad when I was done. I was like, oh my gosh. But I met so many incredible people. So
That's amazing. I am here with world-renowned dancer Alicia of Alicia Zinden